Hey Pisces, welcome to January 2020's reading, an astrology forecast. There's a couple of things about this month that I want to flag, and it's the watery energy, which is a refreshing treat for all the water signs after a bit of a dry spell, a bit of a time where you felt confused by your emotions, you felt overwhelmed by your emotions, and you felt a little bit disgusted at times with your emotions. The eclipse gateway between the Christmas Day, Boxing Day eclipse, Page of Swords, that period between then and the 10th of January with the Cancer lunar eclipse is a tough one. It drudges up a lot of thoughts that maybe you find a little bit challenging, a lot of memories, a lot of murkiness, and yet here we get a clarity with the Page of Swords. Because in going a little bit deeper into your emotions, Pisces, you start to see where there has been some shadowy figure in your heart dictating the direction that you're going in sometimes. Your own shadow side is tripping you up. It's time to get to grips and sit quietly with who you really are. Knight of Cups. Your romantic nature, your poetic nature, your sensitive nature. Just because there is a part of you that you think because you need to retreat and rest is lazy doesn't mean that it is lazy. It doesn't mean that it is problematic. You're a poet, you're a writer, you're an artist. You have these beautiful sides to you, and it's time to get really to grips with the part of you that you've neglected, that's creative. That full moon in Cancer is going to want you, Pisces, to be as authentically you as possible, because that is what you need, that is what everyone around you needs, that's what your partner needs, your friends need, your family needs, your future partner needs, your future friends need, your creative endeavors need. And it's taking a little bit of introspection and solitude to get there. It's taking a little bit of evaluation where you look around your life and you think, what is growing and what's not? Patience. But not hesitancy. Now is not the time to be hesitant creatively. Now is the time to get the fresh energy. Open the window. Open the window into your soul. You're doing introspection. You're looking at what in your life is no longer growing, and you're realizing, Pisces, that it's okay to let some of those flowers die. At least that was your vibe between the eclipse gateway. That is the point you're at, where you're reevaluating what it is that makes you you, and what in your life is working for you and crowning you. Jupiter in your 11th house is going to grant you all the wishes, all the fulfillment, provided they match who you are. There's no point. People waste their wishes so much. There's no point wishing and spending your energy focusing on what you want other people to do. What do you want for you? And would you choose yourself above somebody else that's giving you so little? Because if you wouldn't, Pisces, you're in problems. Or you have a problem. But the truth of the matter is, Pisces, with this Nine of Cups, you have that imagination that is so beautifully creative that you can turn monsters into angels. And that's the downside of that. But you can also turn paper into origami, or you can turn a blank canvas into a work of art, or you can turn a couple of chords into an amazing song. You have this gift within you to be creative that if you're not fulfilling at the minute, you're going to have to figure out in 2020 how you're going to do it. Otherwise, it's just going to be another year. And it doesn't have to be. When Jupiter's in your 11th, this is a year where you can meet your soulmate. You can live your dreams. You can travel the world. You can experience the depth of life that you need. You can be an emperor. You can be your own boss. You can give orders. You can give orders. You think you can't, but you can. Even Pisces, if you've been really, really, really dreadfully hurt by an earth sign. King of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and the Three of Swords. If you're bored with your life, you will create people to be who you think they should be, and then when the fantasy unravels, you feel it just as deeply as if it were real. That's too many cards, but there's a picture there. You create people in your head sometimes. Ace of Wands. What you need to be doing is creating something tangible, something that you can look at. The Moon and the Four of Wands. You can't quite see things clearly until that Cancer eclipse. Six of Swords. You can't quite see where you're going. Your ruler, Two of Cups. Okay, seeing the picture here. Let's look. Your ruler Neptune is still stationed. I think it's still stationary at the minute, okay? And the eclipse gateway is more to do with the introspection and the pulling things up. It is a weird yet wonderful time to begin a new year, where you can start to decide for yourself what you want in your life. Not necessarily who, but what. The Emperor is the type of person who appears to be one way but actually has more strings to his bow. Have you ever met a Pisces that doesn't have more than one talent? No. Pisces usually have, and I'm sorry if any Leos are cross-watching because you won't like this, Pisces usually has the most talents, I think. You could be dealing with an Aries. There could be an Aries coming into your life for a lot of you. There seems to be a new, fresh energy with the Ace of Wands, a new perspective. But right now, you're not seeing so clearly. You're caught up in this illusionary pain about something, about who you thought somebody was, or who you think you should be, or how you think other people perceive you. Whatever it is that you're thinking, Pisces, you're possibly wrong. And I hate saying that to you because the Emperor is such a certain energy that you're about to embrace and you're about to really, really love, but it requires some introspection. You have the ability to manifest the things that you want in your life, but it's going to require you to make a decision and to be clear in your decisions and to be clear in your value and what you deserve. A lot of you want that Four of Wands, and that requires a person, or that requires a house, or that requires a child, or that requires something that exists outside yourself, that has its own mind. But you can't control anybody else's mind. You can control what's going on with you and the way that you feel. And if you want this happily ever after, you want this home, you have to be completely aligned and feel like you deserve it. You are a romantic hero in many ways, prone to ecstatic moments and then melancholic moments. And over the recent months, you've denied parts of yourself to the point now even you're confused about how you feel. But you're going to get very clear. Venus goes into your sign this month. There is, in my opinion, great energy for Pisces to make progress in love and fall in love and finally let somebody go or move on to somebody else or fall in love with themselves or make a journey or reunite or reconnect. Venus is going to bestow for Pisces some sort of romantic endeavor that feels very, very sweet, and it feels very, very connected, very together, very solid, I think. Because the Six of Swords is moving into calmer waters. Perhaps partnerships may not have ended, but they have been rocked. The quickest way for a Pisces to find love in their relationships is to simply love what they're creating. To love what they're doing. You are soft and sentimental. And sometimes people in your life will try and take advantage. And then there's other people that want to protect you at all costs. But what do you want to do for you? If it's new love, it seems to be entirely possible, Pisces. If it's a business idea, if it's a creative endeavor, all you have to do is Emperor up. Decide that with Mars being in as ambitious a sector as your 10th house, somewhere as strong and focused and charismatic and able to impress the right people, draw on that Mars energy this month. Really draw on what it is that you want for yourself. And everybody else will come along too. Anybody that deserves to come along will come along too. As long as you keep yourself right. And if you're dealing with another water sign or an air sign, it feels as though very early on in January there is quite a specific and important exchange, a conversation that leads to something significant. This is somebody finally asking you on a date. This is somebody finally inviting you to interview. This is somebody telling you that they miss you. This is somebody telling you that they want to go somewhere, do something, see something, or that they want you to do something. This is quite clearly a conversation that is worth having. But regardless, as soft as you are and creative as you are, and as much as you have to expose that vulnerable side of yourself in order to move past the obstacles, in order to move past the blocks, in order to move past the disillusionment and the mistrust and the uncomfortableness, you have to believe, like the Emperor, that you can do this. Pisces always have lived many, many lifetimes, and the beard of the Emperor is sort of symbolic of that wisdom, this long white grey beard developed over time. But time does little. I think feelings are some of the greatest teachers or signposts or synchronicities to teach you things. I think that's where Pisces learn through their feels. And if you are dealing with an Aries, you're going to need to be very, very sure of yourself. Because they may push you. Certainly with the Six of Swords and the Two of Cups, no matter where you are romantically, Pisces, no matter what your situation is, or in friendships, no matter how lonely you feel or how isolated you feel with this Hermit energy, or you feel like you've just been on your own, or you feel like you're on your own, you're about to feel very, very, very close to somebody else. A reciprocity. And no matter how far away or distant this feels, just ask Venus for the closeness that you want with somebody or something. And if you would like to do some introspection on what it is has kept you in hermit mode, or these soul-searching moments that you've had to do in order to figure out what it is that you want, the people around you might have some ideas on what it is that you actually really need to know. So we're going to get into your extended. It's going to be listed below. I love you very much, Pisces. I will see you in the next set of readings. Very happy new year and take care. Bye, Pisces.